Hi, I'm Kate Ward, and this is your Dickman Farms Smart Gardening Tip. Working on the garden today. It's a relatively young garden, and in the foreground we have some little shallots there. There's some young tomatoes, rosemary, basil in between. Up further there's a pile of peppers, and one of the things we're talking about today is weeds and actually weed control and the importance thereof. So if you're a vegetable gardener, one of the most important things you can do is actually keep these weeds down. They're fantastic competitors, and today I'm going through and I am just lightly loosening this top layer of soil. It's not going down very deep, but what it's doing is it's skimming off that top layer of little weed seedlings that has started, so that they can't get a foothold. And you can see there it just skims right across. This particular tool is one I like to use. You can find out and around. This is a stirrup hoe, but any sort of garden tool like a hoe is going to work. This one allows me to go back and forth. To answer the question, no, it's not one that we usually carry in the garden center, but it's a tool that I like, and tools are kind of highly specific. You either like this or that and you get your favorites, and some people just like to use their hands. But it's really important to keep those weeds down when they're young, and I'll show you exactly why. I'm going to turn right around. Here's the other half of the garden. Oh, look at that. So we happen to rototill, and some people don't. What happens when you rototill, you do break up the soil, but what it does is it turns under the soil, and it actually turns under some weed seeds, which you don't even know that they're there, but they're going to be possibly in there. And if they are, like they are in the case of this garden, with just a little bit of time and some ample water supply and some heat, you get this lovely carpet of weed seedlings. Yay! And actually, here's a perfect example of what happens if you use that hoe in a timely manner in your garden. Because right here, these are actually onions that are coming up here. These are going to be golden onions. But this little swath where there are no weed seedlings is what happens when I had just a second to come out and to do a little bit of light weeding here with that same action that we saw on the other side. So the simple fact of just turning over that soil just didn't take very long to do. I just didn't have a lot of time, and I was out in the garden, prevented a huge amount of work. So that little bit of turnover, you can see the darker soil that's on this side of the garden here, I've just done that, is, if I weren't to do anything else, going to prevent or help to prevent all of this additional work. So I'm in here to tackle these guys before they get any bigger and before we get any more rain, because I have some other areas I can plant, and you can see further down there's some fennel plants and some dill plants. I actually like to put those in my garden. I don't really use either fennel or dill, but what I do love is butterflies, and those are good host caterpillar plants for swallowtail butterflies, so that's kind of cool. So I have some work to do. You might have some too, but this is luckily small enough that you can see how easily I can do this, which means that that hoe is going to still work for me. They're not very deep where I'm going to have to spray or pull. I'm just going to have to do a little work. So I'd imagine this is going to take me about 35-40 minutes, believe it or not, where this would have taken me, and did take me, about 10. So there's your smart gardening tip. Stay on top of stuff, makes it easy, and now you know how easy it can truly be to do. All right, talk to you soon. Can't wait to see you in the garden center.